So today's video, I want to talk about some of the truths about the secular industry that made me quit secular music and, turn to Jesus and seek Jesus and become a Christian that is, born again Christian and become for the kingdom and also become a kingdom influencer. So here are some of the things you'll probably never hear, but why not? So a little bit of a backstory. Part of my testimony is I started out as a secular artist. I was quite popular from a song which I did back in the day. And this was around 2015. And I was in mainstream media. And I was doing pretty well, by the way. By the time I was coming to the gospel side, I was almost getting to my peak. And I had so many opportunities to take me to the next level. But what shall it benefit a man if they shall gain the whole world and lose their soul? So this is one of the verses that convicted me into, rethinking what my ambition and what my purpose on this planet is. As long as I'm alive. I started out in the secular industry, became born again in 2019, backslid within the same year. But then again, by the end of that year, I was finding my way back to the Lord. And, I call myself a prodigal daughter, but I thank God for the grace, for the courage, and for the strength to just get back to Him. That was so hard. Initially, I thought, once you've decided to walk away from God, He'll never want to do anything to do with you. But then again, the Lord is always waiting for us to make that turn and go back to Him. Open arms, 24/7. Waiting for us. So in case you're discouraged, I hope that encourages you. But I won't get into my testimony today, but let me get into some of the things that I had to reconsider, ask myself, is this what I want to do? And just some of the reasons why I decided to leave the secular industry and to pursue Jesus. So let me get into it. So one very common statement is I'm hustling, trying to make money for my family. I want my family to come out of poverty. I want to change the lives of my beloved and all of that. But then again, as I was doing all of this, it was at whose expense? So many young people got into drugs, alcohol, promiscuity because I was living that lifestyle and because they idolized me, they loved me, they adored what I was doing. They were, enticed by that lifestyle. They decided to start mirroring the habits I was showing and the lifestyle I was showing. So I've met people who've told me they got into drinking, the smoking, the lifestyle, the partying, the ratchetness, because they were fans of mine. But then again, I've met people who told me, when you made that turn, I turned with you. When you decided to pursue Christ, I also decided to pursue Christ because I knew there was something that you found that was true that made you live that lifestyle and give up that lifestyle. But it wasn't easy. But when you start understanding that your life is not just yours, but you have so many other destinies attached to yours and other lives attached to yours, understanding that there's some decisions I might make in the name of I'm having fun and, I'm just doing me and, living life and YOLO and all of that. But then again, there are other people who are doing the same things because they look at me as a role model. At that particular point, I'm not even sure whether I should be called a role model because in all honesty, if you're not promoting anything that can build up people, then are we really role models? I don't know about you, but that term, I'm very careful about who I call a role model for me. So getting into that space of understanding in the name of hustling and making money, how many lives are being lost? How many people will die because they went and drank and maybe they were on the road with other friends and they're driving drunk, they get into an accident, they died. And maybe the point of influence began from how they were looking at me and the things I was doing. So one thing I do believe is with influence comes responsibility, but then again, you have to pick. Are you going to be responsible for the lives which God has trusted you with, or are you going to be responsible and do whatever you want to do? Because at the end of the day, it's every man for himself and God for us all. So there is that. The other thing is, I've said this a couple of times. In my head, I thought I was part of the solution of building our country and our nation and building the youth. And my idea was, I'm inspiring them to go after their dreams, to use their talents, to do X, Y, Z. In all honesty, there is nothing inspiring about promoting, the use of drugs, the use of substances, the misuse of, all of these things in the name of, you're living life, you're having fun. And when you look at someone's life whose life has been, negatively impacted by these things, let's talk about people in addiction. You just don't wake up today and get into addiction by, having your first sip. But then again, it began by someone telling you it's okay to drink, and you're somewhere and you're just having a drink. A few years, a few months down the line, wewe ndio umekuwa ule mse unabebwa na pombe. Wewe ndio ule mse wa kulala kwa mitaro. You're addicted. You don't know what to do with your life. You can't work. You've lost your job. You've lost your family. You've become maybe abusive or violent towards the people who are around you. So at the end of the day, we can claim to be the solution to, use your gift to get to whichever space you want to get to, use your gift to get out of poverty. But then again, how do we solve problems if we are part of the problems? We are part of the people who are inciting these problems. How many of you know of, young people who are in drugs, and the moment they've maybe smoked a blunt or something, all of a sudden they become very violent. They want to steal so that they can feed their habits and all of that. How many of you I've heard of stories of, in homes where you have siblings or, some of their maybe relatives who live with you, but they steal everything because they want to sell these things. Why? Because they want to feed their habits. How many of you have heard of these stories? So we might look at this in the name of its entertainment, but then again, there's so many things which are happening in the name of entertainment. Music is very powerful, and I think I'll do a video speaking about this, a different video. And music changes moods, changes mindsets. Music highly influences the way we think, the way we look at life, and the way we move. Music is powerful, and that's why sometimes you hear when people are going to maybe do let's say it's a gang that's supposed to go and steal or something, there are drugs maybe they might use to gain that courage and confidence. Then again, there's music they'll play that is standing and, promoting whatever they're going to do, maybe violence, the gangster life and all of that. So music is very powerful. And I think just, getting to a place of understanding that, how can I claim I want to leave an impact and I want to do amazing things in this world if I'm part of the problem and I'm part of, the cause of why some of these young people are doing whatever they're doing, and part of the, miserable lives people are having because I'm clapping for this, I'm endorsing this, and I'm accepting it as something that is okay to be done. So that was quite convicting. In all honesty, it is easier to be selfish, to do whatever I want to do. But the reality is, what shall it profit a man to gain the whole world, yet lose their soul? So, we're trying to get right with Jesus and, have our souls, at the right place. And, going to the right location after this life is done. The other thing I came to realize when I was doing music videos, a lot of times we use video vixens and, models and all of that. But then again, the picture I was trying to portray is, bad girls and, just women who are about the high life. It's all about money and drinks and popping champagne and living the high life, class, the designers, the nice things and all of that. And just women who are bosses in a way that they control even the men around them, and they're the ones who have a say. So also using the sexuality of women to get more views and likes and to trap men into coming to watch the videos. So that is where my mind was at. I sat myself down and I asked myself the question, one day you want to become a mother, one day you want to become a wife, one day you want to become a woman who impacts other lives, and this is what you're promoting right now. What does this say about who you are and your character? You're a selfish human being, because in your mind, you want to trap young men to come and thirst after these women who are in your video. In your mind, you're trying to make young girls see that life is all about getting people with money, cars, and flexing it. And if you go on social media, the only thing you need to do is just flex and just, show what you got and all of that. But then again, would you want your daughter to be used by someone the way you're using these people in the name of, it's just how entertainment works. And I was like, I wouldn't want to see my daughter or my son in a music video half naked, being there posing sexually to entice more views and to get more people clicking and liking and watching those videos and sharing those videos. I wouldn't want that. Just taking up that responsibility, understanding that, why would I be selfish enough to allow other people's children to go through this, yet I don't want my own children to go through this? So I think that was a wake-up call for me, and I bless the Lord, for just the courage to be brutally honest with my intentions, with my ambitions, and with the reality of what I was doing, other than, trying to sugarcoat it in, I'm just trying to make money and survive and hustle and all of that, but just being intentional. At the end of the day, not everyone will think the way I think and respond the way I respond. I believe when you know better, you can do better. So if this message is for you, maybe you've been wondering, is this necessary? Now you know there are other things you can do, and you can trust God for providence and to make it without having to destroy other lives and, just getting people into such spaces where they look back, they're looking at themselves and they wonder why they did what they did. So, I hope that encourages some of you. But I'll get into more details about this particular topic in the near future, in other videos. But for today, let me keep it moving. So I think something else that made me question what I stood for is the idea that we have some celebrities who have never drunk in their lives. We have celebrities who have never tasted alcohol, yet they are paid a lot of money to endorse and promote alcohol. So at the expense of those who go to buy and drink because they've seen a particular person or someone who they adore, they love, and they idolize, and it's more like you worship this person. The fact that they are promoting and endorsing a drink, then you go and buy that drink, you start drinking, you get yourself into things which you had no business getting yourself into, in the name of, you are influenced by someone that you look up to. I think that broke my heart, I felt so bad. And I was like, how many lives will be lost? How many young people will be lost and misguided because they trust what they see online? And it's not always true. And looking at that, I was like, if I decide to be quiet about this, then people are going to do things and, with the responsibility that has come with the influence God has given me. Will I be quiet about this, or will I shed light so that the next time you want to buy something to drink because you saw someone using it, or something to smoke because you saw someone using it, you'll ask yourself the question, why am I really doing this and partaking in this habit? Why am I consuming this? Is it good for me? Because addiction is not easy. Addiction is not easy. It's not easy to get out of it. We've seen stories of people who had great careers, but it took drugs for everything else to crumble and for everything else to just fall apart. Their family, their loved ones, their life changed. So I believe we have a responsibility as individuals, as people of the kingdom, especially when you come to the light and the Lord reveals to you the things which are wrong. I believe we have a responsibility to say what needs to be said and to warn where there needs to be warning, so that even this generation, when they're making decisions, they make decisions knowing very well this could be someone who does not use this thing, but then again, this is what they're doing because someone somewhere is paying them. So do I need to partake in this? Who's paying me to ruin my life? Who's paying me to destroy my dreams? That was also another wake-up call. It was also another wake-up call. How selfish can I be? How far can I go? How much faking can I do? Because I want likes and views and money. How much will I do? How far can I go to make it? Who will I ban? Who will I destroy for me to make it? So my prayer is that we get to a place where before we do something, we consume something, we ask the right questions. We ask ourselves the right questions. So that was also something else that made me reconsider my ambitions and my dream to become, one of the biggest, secular artists and FMC. And I was like, at the end of the day, I can gain all of these things, but then where am I going next? And remember, you cannot manipulate God. You cannot lie to God. You cannot bribe your way to God. Being good does not move God, because not everything that is good is of God, and not everything good is God. So I think being intentional with that space, that was a reality check. It wasn't easy, but it was a necessary wake-up call for me. How far can you go? How many people need to be destroyed because of the lies you propagate and the things you stand for that you don't even believe in yourself? So I believe it's important to know. And as I always say, when you know better, you do better, you make better decisions. Well, I'm going to end this video here. So those are some of the reasons why I had to reconsider my life choices, and I chose to step away from the secular side of things and decided to pursue Christ. And I decided to use my gift and my talent for the kingdom and to promote the kingdom, and also to call people to Christ and to just help people understand it's about a relationship with Jesus Christ. It's not about religion. It's not about, I don't know, it's a competition who's going to get ahead of anyone else, but it's about healing and being whole and finding your purpose and knowing who you are and whose you are and understanding the assignment over your life. And those are some of the reasons as to why I chose to step away from the secular side of things and pursue Jesus Christ. And I have no regrets. Every day we learn, we grow, and I bless the Lord for that. So we'll keep on having these conversations, talking about these things. But for today, I'm a wind up here. I'll see you in the next video.